I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It is episode 344 of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day, great evening. It is Thursday, December 5th. Woohoo! We are here. We're here to the end of the week, close to the end of the week. Something I've not been saying to you guys here in the last couple days, just to give you a brief synopsis of where we are in case you don't have 5 or 6 different calendars around you as I do for different things. We are obviously bringing this show to you, episode 344 live, coming to you live Thursday evening, December 5th, 2024. That means we are 26 days away from the end of the year, 27 days away from the first day of the new term, the 2025 year, and the term of 2025, 2026 for representatives, and 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028 for those 4-year terms. Add 2 more for those that are judges. And then, of course, 46 big days away from being able to swear in the once 45th and soon to be 47th president. See how those numbers all just kind of float off the tongue there? 46 days away from that. So welcome. Hey, thank you for being here. I would like for you to do us a favor and please help clickety-dickety-dick the like button, the thumb. Give us a thumbs up. Not in the comments. I say that. You can always tell when older people are watching, because anytime I say that, then the older people always give a thumbs up in the comment, which I appreciate. I love. We like to hear your positivity and see your positivity in the chat. But if you're watching on YouTube, you need to sneak down and click that little thumbs up with your cursor, your finger, your thumb, do whatever. If you're watching on your phone or you're watching on laptop or whatever. Hello, Puppy Branch. Tonight is a Madison County night. Now, I say that, and I almost instantly hear some people groan. Ugh. Yes, we are going to be talking about stories relating to Madison County. And listen, because I want people to watch, and it's all about the clicks and views secretly, seriously and sincerely, obviously I don't want people to turn off thinking, well, it's not Muncie, it's not Henry County, it's not my burg. And so I always say, but the things that we talk about, they may matter to you where you are. And I believe that. I fully believe that. Things that I have learned and battled in certain communities have helped me in other fights in other communities. However, specifically, what we're talking about tonight is beneficial for people everywhere. We're going to be talking about clean water concerns. And I was a little afraid when I made the thumbnail that there would be a group of people that might jump on thinking that I was talking about Westdell. And so I was kind of concerned about that. And I probably should have told people, no, this is not Westdell. I am still looking into Westdell. There's been a gentleman in the last couple of days who has been sending me a bunch of emails, and I am very thankful for that man. He tried to call me yesterday while I was busy. I did not get a chance to return his call today. I'm going to try and reach out to him tomorrow. So, sir, if you're watching this and you know who you are, it's just safe to say if you've been sending me emails about Westdell, then you know who you are, because there's a large group of people out there that haven't been sending me emails. Pretty much every single other person on the planet. There's really only been one person sending me emails in, say, the last 2 or 3 days about Westdell. And if that is you, then I'm going to try to contact you back tomorrow. So I will let you know. We are going to be doing that. Just a brief little note. I did watch the video that Alva sent me last night. I did get a chance to watch that. I also have been able to watch the 2 videos that John, if John's watching, John, you know who you are. I still struggle to say your last name, so it is what it is, but you know who you are. John from out west. I've watched your 2 videos too, and I know I will get back with you. I promise. I will get in touch with you. I've just been busy. But yeah, no, I watched that video that Alva sent last night about Trump, the video from Trump, and talking about the approach to censorship. And I can't wait. I'm here for it. Hello, Bree. Bree is here from Madison County and is specifically going to be interested in tonight's conversation. I would assume that you've seen, Bree, that tonight we're going to be talking about the issue with the clean water in Lapel. And my favorite friend, one of my favorite friends, you're all my favorite friends, but just one of you who happens to be one of the contributing correspondents here will be joining me in just a little bit. That obviously, as most of you know, the contributing correspondent that helps me in Madison County is none other than the 10th Councilman, Audie Barber. So he'll no, sorry, wrong contributing correspondent. It is Katherine Callahan. Audie Barber has taken he applied for a position to take a over for Waldo, as in where's Waldo. So for the last little bit and the next little bit, it will be where's Audie. And so he's going to continue in that routine. But, the deal with Audie is I told you guys a while back, he received a promotion at his place of employment. And so now he's kind of like one of the higher ups, which obviously he had those people fooled, because one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to give Audie a gun, and you don't want to put him in charge of things. Neither one of those things are good. Giving Audie a gun or putting him in charge of things. So it just kind of goes to show you those people, how dumb they are. I
wish you would have told me that before. I had him go talk to Niles about getting an AR.
Yeah, I saw you smiling about that down there. And that's what I was going to say. The people that work, I was just literally right before you popped on, I was going to say, so that means the people that he works for and Niles Thornburg are both dumb because they helped him with the gun and they put him in charge of things. So,
Niles said thank you.
no, he's good with the gun. Audie knows what he's doing. He's a good guy. But no, the seriousness with Audie is he works outside construction, and it's always specifically going into the winter time. For those of you that have watched and been a part of the show for any length of time, you know that he always disappears going into the fall and going into the winter because people who work outside, well, their money depend on being able to work, and so they're always like iffy. So he's kind of like always like in the wintertime, Audie is like a squirrel or a bear. He's out there like, you know, collecting what he needs to be able to survive the winter. So he'll show back up around in the spring. He watches the show and does a lot of stuff in the morning, and you know, he and I talk, and it is what it is. So he'll return in the spring, and we'll be all right. But tonight, I'm basically just killing a little time. Katherine is running a little behind, and she said she'd be a little late, so we're filling in a little bit of time before she gets here. I do also want to say that I have sent out some record requests to a couple different places based on what we've said the last couple of days. And let me check my email here while we're talking. First off, I need to do something really important. Let me make sure I didn't do what I generally do. Let me get this shared here to a couple places that obviously need the show shared. Sorry, give me just 1 second, folks. So, man, I tell you, this deal in Madison County with these these two, for those of you that have paid any attention or watched what's going on, for those of you that are here from Madison County that have been looking at these water filters, my God. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I hope that you guys definitely aren't drinking that. And if you are drinking that, well, it was nice knowing you. I hope, honestly, I mean, and I hate saying this, I hope you're not bathing in it. If you're bathing in it, dude, I don't know how you could bathe in water that's looking like this is absolutely nuts. We're gonna look at this. I'm gonna share this couple more places here real quick, and then I'll be ready to look up at you and do the things that we need to do. Okay, it looks like Katherine's already got me in the Madison County groups. That's good. Hey, it's good to know that Katherine can do what she can do even if she's not here on time. We're gonna have to dock her pay. The last thing, I know the last thing I need to do. So the other quick thing that I wanted to say is damn it. Host. Okay, there we go. Sorry. All right. There we go. Good. Now, the last thing I need to do. Talking about water has actually made me feel like I'm starting to get dry, and I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to. That's my biggest fear in life. My biggest fear in life is the shit hitting the fan and not being able to have clean drinking water. And so I've always stocked up on the things that you need to help purify water, like iodine tablets and all this other crap, and all these little utensils that you can use to stick in the water and it'll filter and all this stuff. It's always been something that's been a fear of mine. And matter of fact, I'm starting to freak out as I look around the room and notice there's no water in this water bottle. And my emergency water bottle, my backup water bottle, my backup water bottle, when this is empty, my backup one's empty too. And now I'm really starting to freak out. I might actually, I'm going to make a text to see if I can get Waterson up here. And if not, I'm literally going to have to have Kate come up and put us on hold, and I'm going to have to run down and get it. Please.
Well, while we're waiting on Catherine, Joe Black sent a really fun YouTube short.
Who did?
Joe Black.
Where's it at? You got it?
I sent it in the group.
Oh, in the group. Okay.
So we can kill a little bit of time while we're waiting on Miss Catherine. Bree said she was still driving, so it's short, so it's only a minute and 10 seconds or something, but it was fun.
You sent it in the political spotlight group?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me see, because the last thing. Oh, there I have it. It's weird. It's weird that I have two Facebooks pulled up on the same computer, and one can be backwards behind. Oh yeah, I've watched this. This. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, this is in New Zealand where this occurred. And I've had a lot of people say that they wish that something like this could happen here. Give me a second. I'm sure that a lot of you guys have seen this, but it is always a good interest. And so what this is it's a group of lawmakers who are what happened was someone had I guess put some kind of law forward or resolution or something that was going to in a sense what it was going to do is it was going to be redefining the country's founding agreement between the indigenous people and the British Crown in New Zealand. And so a couple of the, whatever these people are, representatives or I don't know if it's parliament, I don't know what exact body they have here, but a couple of the political folk here who are part of the tribe, they didn't exactly like that. So they decided to do a little bit of political theater, which is always my favorite kind of theater. And this is then, of course, what we get. Keep in mind that this is taking place in their Parliament, their Congress. This is a meeting.
The House is suspended.
The House
until
is
the ringing of the
suspended.
bells. The gallery
Crikey.
is to be cleared.
I guess I could say something. I'm not going to say something. Never mind. Oh, God. Hey, listen, I like it. A lot of people might be like, oh, my God. But so obviously, if you've been living under a rock, then you're probably not aware that there were native people there and they did things the way they did things. So what these people are normal, everyday, cultured people just like we are who have heritage. And this is a dance that their tribes would do when they felt threatened or when they were going to go to war with another tribe or whatever. And it was supposed to invoke fear in the other people and whatever. And so this is kind of their act of protest and saying, hey, we don't like what you're doing here. And what you're doing here, if it was 200 years ago, we would have done these dances and then like cut your heads off, or I don't know what would have happened after that. We would have, eaten you or whatever, which is perfectly fine. I've got no problem with that. I think it's fantastic. So obviously nothing happened. And this was our version of a protest. And I love it. To me, it's the same thing as watching the protests that we watched in Atlanta when they threw the ping pong balls up at the people and said, you've dropped the ball, you've dropped the ball. It's the same thing. And for people who aren't used to that, that might have been frightening or whatever. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was wonderful. I think it's fantastic. And so often here in America, where people don't like people getting up and saying, I am disgusted at you. And damn it, I want better. And they're like, well, watch your language. Be nice, be calm. We don't like attacks. I'm like, dude, you need a little bit of culture. Like maybe take some time and YouTube like other forms of government around the world. Even if you want to like say, well, we're civilized here and blah, blah, blah. Okay, go Google what happens at the House of Parliament in England and watch them. They do everything but like your mom is so fat jokes. It's like a roast. And our American, oh, look at this. Thank God. Here I am talking about like being cultured and all this, and I get bottled water dropped off by a hand. But hey, look, Catherine's here too. So yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. The haka dance beats the ping pong balls any day of the week. Bree was like, "Oh my God, something's behind you." It's my bottle of water. Yes, you're right. The New Zealand rugby team performs the dance before every match. I love it. So, yeah, that was good. And it amazingly wasted just the amount of time for me to get water and for us to bring Katherine on. So we're going to do that now, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, it's her.
Listen, I can get a lot done while I'm driving.
Yeah. What's happening?
So I was racing I was racing home. I just want everybody to know that I have 2 children. I want everybody to know that my children are well taken care of. And
Well, that's good.
but I do have to share this. So I just sent them the message. I want you to know that I never treat my 2 girls any differently.
Oh, you treat them the same, yes?
I do.
Yeah.
I got this message yesterday morning.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I have to read this message to everybody before we get started because
Okay.
I want you to know that I love my daughters.
Okay.
Although for some reason they feel one feels neglected.
Oh, yes.
my youngest
my brother
daughter-
and I, we do this to my mom. All right.
My
Go
youngest daughter sends this message. Now, granted, they were just home from school.
ahead. Okay.
We went shopping,
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
my youngest daughter randomly sends this out. Hello, Alva. The difference in daughters. One has a very expensive jacket, and the other doesn't even have a jacket. The other daughter says, that's your own fault. The younger one says, I'm not complaining, just saying it's funny. But it is cold as hell, and I'm freezing, so I need to get one. So I send this to their dad, who then says, well, what'd you wear last year? I said, I don't know, maybe one of the 5 jackets that are hanging in the closet that she failed to put in the car. So then later on, I get a picture of my oldest daughter's boyfriend, and he's outside. And they send me a picture of him with a snow scraper.
Yeah.
I said, well, what's the importance of that? Because I told them before they left, they needed snow scrapers, and I put them in their cars.
Okay.
They said, Michael's never scraped a car before. This is the first time ever.
God.
Because he comes from a state that's warm.
Oh, okay.
So I just want everybody to understand the importance of this. The reason why I talk about water, the reason why I fight this government is so that my kids and your kids will have clean water and will be able to speak in public and will have a community in which they can thrive in.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing of me telling you to start off with my kids, because people often ask me, why do I do this?
Yeah.
I do it for my kids and your kids.
Yeah. That's very
so
true.
that they can smile.
Yes.
And so Kristopher can drink bottled water and not what comes out of the tap, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was raised on well water. I love well water. It was so wonderful. We'd get those orange juice, empty them out, and we'd fill it from the tap and we'd stick it in the refrigerator, and you'd come in that hot day and get that biggest swig out of the water bottle. I mean, we were military brats, so we drank out of the hose.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we did all those great things.
Gone are those days, man. You can't do that, because what we did is a long time ago, that was okay. But it seems like in the last definitely 60 years, listen, my grandfather drove a dump truck for GM, and I've heard every horror story about where he's dumped the nastiest shit, like stuff that like causing cancer everywhere, that GM was like had like a contract to dump here and dump here and dump there. And now it's like, oh, well, this is like a housing complex that's, just on top of this now. And oh, this is the old Muncie dump. And there's just houses there now. And I'm like, holy crap. I live in an area. I remember when we moved up here, we were on well water where I live now. And then in the 90s, there was 90s into the 2000s, there was a big push to get this area on city water. And we are on city water. We've been on city water for forever. And I still am just targeted into, like, I'm brainwashed. Not targeted. I'm conditioned rather to just not drink out of the water here, because I didn't for so long, because you could fill up a glass of water and see less water than black in the glass. And it was like, nope, can't do it. So Seeing
It's
these pictures that you guys have going on, is this lapel where this happened?
this is in Lapel, and
Okay.
there's been a huge this, in 2022, Russ Willis came out with Noah Bozell, Chad Blake, all the big townspeople. Teresa Rutherford was the president at the time. She's now the clerk. And they were going to have all this water. They had earth-shattering water that they were just going to fix all of this. And now I don't know what's happened because it was supposed to be done in 2022 and it's still a problem. I don't know. I'm just sending out these last minute reminders to people so we have all these people who will watch us. I'm not really sure what's happened here with all of this. So let me see if I can get you a post which actually shows a picture. I've been posting about this in Lapel. Bree actually went with Christy Worthman and those guys, and she actually put them on live video as they were talking about this. So how this kind of all evolved is a couple of weeks ago, I received a letter, not just one letter, but several letters of the houses that I own talking about there were problems with the water system and that it needed to be fixed or replaced. So I then contacted a couple
One
of
of these
people.
at least one of these homes being in Lapel.
Several of these homes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's the point. So it's the home that you're talking about is in Lapel. Okay.
Yeah. And so, of course, I own property there and my business is there. So I then talked with the dental office too, and we knew we were okay. Because in the dental office, a whole water filtration system has been put in because we knew there were problems. So ever since I've owned these buildings, the town would go over when the building was the CVS, and they would get water out of there. And I would notice they'd be outside running the water. When we turned this into a dental office, we capped all that off so they couldn't do that anymore. So they've been coming to my office inside to get the water. And
Who was
the town.
Okay.
Which is fine, right? But what I notice is the water has to run for several minutes before a sample is taken.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about you. I don't know about Bree. I don't know about any of you people on this thing. How many of you will run the water for 10 minutes or so before you drink the water?
Cooking or whatever. Yeah, most people are not going to do that.
I have somebody who lives in a little over 2,000 square foot home in Lapel, and her water bill is over $300 a month.
Yeah, most people are not going to do that.
The town is killing people on utilities because they have done such a poor job managing everybody, their finances, that's how they're trying to make up to pay for this. So I sent you an article, and that's from 22, where our long-awaited water project gets underway. Well, then last month I got a letter saying, wait a minute, our lead's too high. I mean, and Bree's putting up the numbers. It's too high. And so Bree goes to the meeting. She's talking to the meeting. She tried to go to town hall and have discussions, which for whatever reason, I guess if you speak the truth or you have a question that's uncomfortable, nobody wants to address you.
Yeah, right.
And Bree's just like, this is my water. I just want to know the story. So in the meantime, Bree goes to the meeting and she's trying to
see if they have availability. I'll see if I have availability to fit you in. You're my employee. You're my employer. You're my boss. I'll see if I can fit you in.
Right. And so I posted these articles talking about how much money they've dumped into this, what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, these guys have hard hats on. They're all shiny, and the water's still not fixed. We've got all these new housing developments going on, and the water is still not fixed. Now, what's interesting is on the other side of the elementary school, they've built a whole new water addition. And so those people over there are like, no, it doesn't affect our water. well, I don't know where your water's coming from because it's attaching to the same pipes because the water tower is that way. I don't know where you guys are. I don't know how you think you're unscathed over there in these new additions, because water, once it gets in your water system, it's flowing, it's going. You can't stop it. You can't get these tiny particles out of there. This is why Aaron Brockovich, this is why Dark Waters, this is why I fought so hard for LKQ, that we can't have this, because by the time it gets into our system, we don't know. Look at those filters.
Well, I want to show you guys this thing. So this is I saw this pop up the other day before we even were talking, before I was talking to her about this. And I just recently had this experience where we don't have a water filter here. Where we don't deal with that. We use the water for to bathe in, which we probably shouldn't. I don't know. It's just weird. But we drink bottled water here. I drink bottled water everywhere. I'm a big bottled water person. I guess people have issues with that. It is what it is, but I'm a big bottled water person. But I just changed a water filter for my grandparents, and we didn't get the thing on tight enough, so there was a little bit of a leak. So I had to screw with this thing like over the course of 2 or 3 different days. So I intimately got to know this water filter. And so I see this picture that someone posted in the lapel chatter. Now watch this. This is people are gonna see this and it's gonna shock the hell out of you. But this is over the course of 1 month. So the filter that you're gonna see on the right is a brand new filter, and the filter that you're gonna see on the left is a filter that has been in for 30 or 31 days. Let's even say it was 60 days. This is insane what you're going to see, and it's here. I mean,
now I want you to know that people were arguing and they were saying that this was just yarn.
Well, okay. So yeah, that's the other thing. So, and I've got these pictures because, so first of all right, before you talk about what these are, this looks like, when I first saw this, what this looks like to me is a spool of yarn on the right and maybe the same spool of yarn on the left that someone has taken and rolled through tar or coated with like black paint, a bucket, and you've dipped it down in and pulled it out, or real thick spray paint, multiple coats to the point that it's like that tacky feel. Like this, I listen, and in all seriousness, I mean, I'm not from here. I'm not understanding this. I'm to have to take Katherine and Bree's word that this is not some kind of someone's trying to get somebody here, because this just does not look like, if I ever put a filter in and then a month or 2 months later pulled a filter out and it looked like this, it would be like I would explode and you would feel a crater. There would just be a crater where I used to be, because this is absolutely insane. And so then when I got into looking at this, I saw that people were saying, well, it's just yarn. This is not a filter. And for everybody saying that, here's the Culligan filter. This Culligan's not sponsoring this. I'm not saying this is a Culligan problem. I just went and I typed in, this is exactly what I typed in, water filter, and this is what popped up. And this popped up on Amazon. This was the very first picture I took. I didn't search it. This was the first thing that popped up. And you can tell there that filter, those two filters right there, are the same filter that thing is on the right. Now, what the person is claiming, and tell me if I'm wrong, the person is claiming that, say, on January 1st, they put in the filter on the right, and then on February 1st, when they switch it again, what they pull out is the filter on the left. Is that what the claim is?
So, right. So this is just 30 days. And I sent you the actual package where it was opened out of. So anybody, they sell them at Menards. Anybody who thinks, and people are asking, where can they go to get tests? You can go over to Lowe's and Menards and all that, and you can buy a water test for $30 or $40. So, and you know, we have several of that. So now you get to see that there's an actual package. We actually opened the package. It actually went into the system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start pulling these water filters at 1 week.
Okay. Yeah, that's what needs.
And that's going to be our project to kind of show you. But legitimately, people, this is it. Like, nobody is trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. Nobody's trying to scare anybody.
Back up here real quick. What does this filter, because when I say that I was intimately familiar with water filter, I will say the filter that I interacted with did not look anything like this. It was a different filter. So my question to you is, did you touch one of these filters?
It's a whole house filter.
Okay, I get that. I understand. So is the one I changed. My question, but it just didn't look like this. It was a different kind. My question to you is, did you touch one of these filters?
No.
Okay, so you don't know. Is there anybody in the
A
comments?
pool boy takes care of it.
Catherine has a pool boy. Okay, so we'll get back to reality. For all the rest of you that don't have a pool boy, my question is, are these filters, if any, is anyone in the comments, have any of you interacted with a filter, this filter? That's what I would like to know. Because my question is it squishy? Is it hard? Because it looks like it would be soft and squishy. Right? Do you agree with that, Catherine?
I do. And
it looks like it would be soft and squishy, but the filter that my grandparents have is like a hard, rigid thing. So and that matters nothing. I'm just trying to, I guess I need to go to Menards and pick one of these up, and I can maybe try to do that tomorrow. Okay.
So,
Dave LaRue says, I have, and it is soft. Okay. So, okay. Now, so Dave LaRue, let me ask you this, because this is good, because you're not in Lapel. Okay. And let me ask you this. This is what I'm interested in. How frequently do you change your filter, David? And when you change your filter, sir, how often do you change it? You know, like time period between, and when you change it, what does it look like when you change it? Is it crazy black, or is it, but he said his don't look like this after 3 minutes. Oh, okay.
And here's what I want to put as a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody knows, yes, I've bought some houses. I've gutted them. I want you to understand. Okay. People are on the comments. Bree's been running interference all day. She might as well be Katniss from Hunger Games today, because it's been just that crazy on Facebook. There's been some name calling. I try to tell Bree that take those as compliments.
Yeah.
When people no longer can find words to share with you and make special names for you, like see you next Thursday, thank you. I've certainly got your attention. So, but people need to understand that they're blaming the homeowners. Okay. But the pipes, all the plumbing in the house, including the supply lines from the meters to the house, are new.
Okay.
People, it's new. So you people who live in the subdivision over there by the school that's new, I'd be interested to see your filters, and be interested if you're having Colligan come out and change them.
Yeah.
You may want to ask them if you can look at them.
Yeah.
The main line from the meter to the house is plastic, and all the plumbing in the house is PEX. So the contamination is 100% from the town's supply.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So it is plastic lining.
Yeah, I just kind of want to let people understand some of the basis behind. Now, listen, I'm happy to go to a town meeting. Bree's happy to go to a town meeting. We're very happy to share the story. but no one lets you talk,
Yeah, right.
because they can control that narrative.
Yeah, if you have if you have anything to say that is a concern, it's like they find a way to shut you down.
Yeah. So, and they can do that by law. They can only leave it where we can only talk on new money requests. And I'm telling people, this is a political show. So I'm going to say this. What these people believe when you elect them is that, and what they don't understand is not everybody in the room actually voted for them. But what they say is that they are your voice. So they can shut you down because the majority voted for them. They know what's best for you. This is what the majority wanted in there, which I don't agree with at all. I would never pull a lever for John Richwine or the Likens ever.
Right.
So no, you don't speak for me because you people are as corrupt as the day is long. I never that's going to be. So I just kind of wanted to share with everybody when they're thinking, no, this is literally this filter. Nobody's messed with it, but we're going to start documenting it. I'm going to start taking these filters and maybe putting them in the lobby of the office.
Hell yeah.
Anybody
It is
who
a
wants
health
to
concern.
touch it or feel it or feels that we're untruthful, you're welcome to stop by and inspect them.
Let me ask you this, because there's a couple things. First of all, thank you, David, for your comments. So, I mean, I'm saying it's safe to assume. It is safe to assume then, and I understand that you're saying, from what you're saying is that when you pulled a filter out, it's never looked like the one on the left. Okay, so that. I mean, I'm glad to hear that. That would be bad. It would be bad if this is just a thing that happens everywhere. It shouldn't be happening anywhere, but it definitely shouldn't be happening everywhere. And so, okay, I've used both filters. My brother's filter would turn black like that because he didn't use well water regularly. Randall, seriously, black over what kind of a period, Randall, are we talking? Over what kind of a period? I would be interested to know. Like, yeah, okay, would it turn this black over 6 months? Oh, is it over a month? I mean, listen, to me sitting here, knowing very little about this situation, I'm going to say, if I stuck a filter in that looked like the filter on the white one on the right, and 30 days later pulled it out and it looked like the filter on the left, I don't even know what I would say. I mean, that to me is utterly insane. Utterly insane. And the fact that I would be like, oh my God. Oh, I mean, yeah, it looks like Kate said, it looks like I don't know, mold or paint. Okay. So you're saying just a couple of months. I appreciate that. But saying just a couple, it shouldn't, in my opinion, look like that in 2 months. It shouldn't. I don't think it should ever look like that. Like, I don't think, to me, I cannot comprehend how something that's water passing through that would ever result in that looking like that all the way up and down solid. That's insane. That's a really good question. Does anybody know, Catherine, or anyone else? Do you know, have you guys contacted your health department?
Listen, we've contacted everybody. The health department wouldn't want anything to do with this. They're over there running around in an RV that they don't even put to surface. I sent you some pictures. People have been testing their water at home, and people are sending me all this stuff. Listen, people, Catherine runs a medical practice.
Okay.
I can only do so much. I encourage you to turn things into the state. I encourage you to copy the health department on that. I mean, look at Sean Smith. He's fighting a whole mess over there, and they've got contaminated land. And where's the health department? Nowhere to be found. He's been fighting it for, I don't know, almost a decade. You don't see that health department. She's running around, got her nose up somebody's rear end. She is so out of touch with what this county needs. And so this in Madison County, we don't have a health department. We just got an employment agency over there.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's right.
I just want people to understand that. All right. Today I saw an article.
Real quick.
We're on the health department.
Tweety Bird, it's not. It's not like our health department here. Tweety Bird, you would go out of your mind.
So there was a front page article today of Stephanie Grimes, the health administrator from the health department, was on the front page talking about infant mortality and how they're going to get all this grant money and how they're going to change the world. Let me explain something to everybody watching. I was the chief deputy coroner in Madison County for 2 years. We had several infant fatalities. Understand this. Stephanie Grimes, now she's Mellinger, number one thing she did to help the commissioners, because that's an appointed seat by the commissioners, she removed the president of the health board who'd been on there for 10 years. Who was that president? It was Dr. Troy Abbott, the coroner. If you're so worried about infant mortality, why would you be removing your coroner? There is no coroner that sits on that administration board, which should be. That was a big fight where she could have stepped in and told those commissioners, listen, I get you guys are in a pissing contest. I know this is a political vendetta, but I need that coroner in order to make this county better.
We need them. Yeah.
Right. But she didn't. So what happened? She went after taking the coroner off of there and not having anything to do with us, she went from being number 74 in 92 counties. She's like number 85 or something now.
She's going backwards.
Now, I don't know where you're employed, but if my numbers go like that and we've been throwing millions of dollars at you, you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
But she's protected.
Who runs the wastewater plant and the waste treatments there?
That I don't know who those I don't know who runs all that.
Bree, do you know that?
And so, I mean, I've got all it documented. I just want everybody to know this was kind of a last minute thing that we had put together for the show. So I have more documentation. We're going to roll out more. Bree will probably make some posts giving more detailed information as we move along. These are simply bought at the hardware store, people. And what I hate the most is that you have to go out and pay for this, but you're already paying for your utilities. They should be handing these out for free. I think up at the city, you can go up there to the city of Anderson and you can pick up water tests and you can have it done. I also believe you can send some off to Purdue. So if you Google this, there are ways, and it's going to take the town some movement. The people are going to have to send these things in. People are going to have to spend some money. People are going to have to figure out where to send these tests, compile this information, and show that we are being failed. It's not, and people, this isn't just in Lapel. Look around. You'll look at your water, you think you should see all the posts, and I don't know if Bree can find any of the nasty posts of what the water looks like. We've got people all the time posting orange water. And if you notice, that's why I only give out bottled water to my patients at the office. Like we have we have a water cooler with a filter out in the lobby, but we tend to only give people bottled water because for the last several years, because we just aren't sure. So, it's one of these things that you have to be really careful about the water in Lapel. Here's the other thing. They've spent so much money in Lapel. It's actually atrocious. Lapel is living in the red. Like if you go look up State Board of Accounts, I don't know if Kate has a minute that she can look up the State Board of Accounts. And if she goes to the State Board of Accounts and looks at the last Lapel one, it shows they are in the negative. I don't know how they're going to fix this water problem. They said, Bree found an article recently that said they're supposed to have all this water problem fixed by the end of December. Well, that's funny because they just notified us in November, mid-November, of all the problems. So I don't know.
The end of this December?
Yeah. And they just brought it up in November. And then they made a comment on the video that Bree put up that it's not going to cost the citizens a dime for them to fix all of this. Well, I would hope not, because there's a whole lot of grant money that the town has gotten and is still getting. And so I'm not sure how this is going to be rectified or what they're going to be doing. And again, if somebody gets on my post and say I'm trying to scare people, I am not trying to scare you. I'm trying for you to understand that your water is your most precious entity. Like, we cannot live without water. We just can't. And so there's no reason that a town should be looking like the water that you're going to be going over and getting in Haiti.
Well, yeah, no.
I mean, there's no reason for it at all. And so it's just kind of interesting to see these water filters. The latest thing they've done over in Lapel is they want to take out bonds now. And people are very confused about bonds.
Wait, hold on, pause. Before we get to that.
Yeah.
The question is, people are wanting to know is that factory over there, is Nestle's using this water to do shit with?
Well, no, Nestle gets their water from the city of Anderson.
Okay.
Okay. And they've got worse issues than us.
Ryan Paschal is over the water pollution plant
In Lapel?
Puppy Branch said, I don't know if that's, I don't know where that is. Maybe that's Lapel specifically. I don't know if
I don't know. I'd have to look that all up. And I mean,
we can get to figure that out.
Bree might take notes, but yeah, look at the audit report. Look at the last Lapel report. I mean, it's, you know, we've got missing parks money that has never been found. Oh, that's right. It has been found, Christopher. Let me tell you how that money's been found. So you sit as the council president. Okay. You did your self audit. And you said it's just in a couple different accounts, and we had some line items that we did not transfer correctly. That's why it's missing, but we found it. That's the answer. I didn't know you could self-audit yourself when the state board have said, where's this $90,000 at? So to me, it's never been found. I get what the council has said. If the town of Lapel wants to say, okay, great, he said it's been found, we're going to take it at face value. I mean, it's been 5 or 6 years. It'd be hard to trace, but it's traceable, people. It just is. And so it's just been, I mean, I've been called everything on Lapel Chatter. I don't know about you people, but your town, our town, is in the red. Now they want bonds.
What are they wanting the bonds for?
You know, here's what's even more amazing. The bank closed in Lapel back in, I think, August or September. It's a beautiful building. The town wants to buy the building. You people can't even get our water fixed, and all you want to do is go buy more and more. You can't do it. They don't have the money to buy this stuff, and then they want to remodel the thing. You know, what your eyes and what you think you want to have, you have to live within your means.
Yeah.
They're not living within their means. That's the big thing. So if there's any Lapel people on here, or, you know, I'm appreciative, maybe Alva, I don't know, somebody can join in. Here's the thing. They now want these bonds. this is what I understand with bonds. Bonds is kind of like taking an advance on your credit cards. Like you don't have the money to pay for this. So what happens is if they ask for these bonds, say we want 100,000, Kristopher will put in a bid, Kate will put in a bid, I'll put in a bid. Whoever has the lowest interest rate wins this bid. So that means if I say, okay, we're going to get it for 5% or whatever, then every year I will cut whoever that bond person is a check on that 5%. Now we're not paying off the $100,000 loan. And then depending on how long that loan is, say 5 years, I will cut them a check at that 5% every year for 5 years. Then when that comes due in 5 years, I have to pay that entire $100,000 at that time. Well, here's my question. If you're already in the negative, like that one just showed, it's all in the negative. How are these people going to save money to pay that $100,000 loan off in 5 years? I don't understand this. This whole bond thing just tells me you're putting the taxpayers further and further in debt.
Yeah, they're just kicking the can and yeah. And
so we've got, the other thing is, and I'm all over the place tonight. People, there's so much going on in Lapel. The Cascadens left like millions of dollars to the town. It was supposed to be spent over X amount of years. It's all gone.
Who what's that? You said it left, what left?
The Cascadens left millions
of
dollars to the town of Lapel. They used to own the grocery store in Lapel.
Okay.
When they passed, they left it to the town. The town has spent almost all of it.
Wow.
That's not how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be over several years, if not a decade or so for this, and it's all gone. And what they kept doing is they kept robbing that fund to cover up things like this. And that's, somebody needs to come in and audit Lapel. Like, seriously. I'm not saying this to be
the State Board of Accounts should be doing it frequently. No, what's happening?
I don't know, because they've never come back. I can't find a report that's been issued by the State Board of Accounts saying that they found that money and it's closed. So and here's the thing. Now they have stacked meeting on top of meeting on top of meeting. And so on December 12th, they're going to have a special meeting at 6 o'clock at Town Hall. Now you can fit about 5 people in that room. They're like, well, it's a first come, first serve thing, right? They're not going to have it. They're not going to have it down at the end there. So if you can't fit in the room, you're not going to get it early to attend. It's on these bonds. This is craziness. Well, at 6:30, there's a planning meeting across town. And even at the meeting, Bree and all those guys brought up, so you can't give more time. You think that's only going to take 30 minutes? Well, of course they think it's going to take less than 30 minutes because they've already decided it's going to be stamped and approved. They don't care what the public has to say. They don't care if the public has room. And then they bring up, well, we're going to have another meeting about the firehouse. And if we're going with South Madison, there's no choice. Lapel has no money. They have to go with South Madison. Yeah, like Bree says, there's a 6 o'clock meeting, there's a 6:30 meeting, and there's a 7 o'clock meeting.
All in different
and they're not
areas.
In the same place. And it's all on December 12th.
That's crazy.
It's craziness over here in Lapel.
What's the 6 o'clock meeting?
The 6 o'clock meeting is about the bonds. It's a special meeting.
Special meeting of the council?
Yeah, 6 o'clock at Town Hall is about those bonds.
Bonds, okay.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that one's about the bonds.
And 6:30 is what?
6:30 is planning. And then
7?
I forget what 7 o'clock's about.
Well, hello there, Nicole.
But see, then on December 19th, they've got a 6 o'clock redevelopment and then a 7 o'clock town council
On what day?
on December 19th.
Wait. I know what's 7 o'clock on the 12th.
Is Brady, is this? Oh, that's right. At 7 o'clock, they've left it off the agenda, the board. Nobody's really sure what that is. They just know there's a meeting at 7. That's what I got.
Okay.
12:12 at 6 at Town Hall, followed by planning at 6:30 at the Lions, and Parks at 7, but not sure where that is.
Okay.
So the Parks is at 7, but we're not sure where that one's meeting. I mean, they just, oh, and by the way, when they did all of this, they left the special meeting off of the calendar and the newsletter.
Go figure.
This is just craziness.
Well, at some point,
Listen, if the
you gotta
people
say
allow
they're doing it
this
for a reason.
behavior,
Yeah.
if they accept it,
Yeah.
it's on you. All
Yeah.
I can do is put the information out there.
Yeah.
I can't do much more than what I've already done. I mean, I
Yeah.
fought LKQ for the people.
Yeah.
I've done everything I can, but now the people have to do something. I'm happy to help them. I mean, just like this water filter, people are scared to death to put anything out. I appreciate people coming to me. I appreciate the people who bring me things.
Listen, this is what I tell people, and you're going to have to start telling people. This is what you tell them. I will help you. I can help you, but it's going to be a helping hand. You have to fight the fight.
Mm-hmm.
You have to fight the fight, and I will be there to back you up. That's like me coming to Madison County. I can come there and mouth off at Ben and get kicked out or whatever and do all of this. But at the end of the day, I don't live there. I am not a citizen there. Like, no, they don't have a right to stop me from talking and they have to listen. But I can also kind of see their point of view a little bit. And people aren't going to like me saying that, but I can there's no reason to hear from me. They're not, I'm nobody to them. Like the people, I'm there to say, okay, look, I know it's hard. You're not going to do it alone. I'll do it with you, but you can't expect me to do it in your stead. Like the people of Muncie and Delaware County. All right, this is my fight. I can fight this battle. Right. And for the people that can't, I'll go do it because I have a dog in this fight. But in Madison County, I'll be there to help them. You just can't say, hey, do this and expect me to do it and you to, go, stay at home in your underwear.
I've been trying, but I really focus on the county, right? Yes, the town is important, but I also have a business there.
Sure.
And so I know me speaking up right now, I'm sure it's going to have a little bit of backlash, but I don't know. I would want a healthcare provider who's willing to speak about my water.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is
a big deal, people.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to fix this water. I mean, I can show you the news articles. Bree has sent you a couple, or she sent them to Kate a little bit about, they say they're supposed to have this done before the end of December. And that's the thing. You start getting harassed by county authorities. People will send out DCS, if you speak out. It's just completely, the abuse of power is completely out of
Let me tell you a story. I was heading to work. I had been speaking out about the situation in Winchester. Matter of fact, I was very vocal speaking out against something at the time that Lisa Friend, a District 4 counselor at the time, was doing. And I was driving to work. My mother happened to be at the house with my then wife, my ex-wife now, and her kids, my stepkids were there. And my mom calls and says, hey, you need to come back home right now. And I was like, I can't. What are you talking about? She was like, you need to come home right now. And I was like, I can't. And she hangs up on me and she texts me and she was like, CPS is here. And I was like, what? So I like do a UE and fly back there. And someone had called in an anonymous tip to CPS that the kids, our kids were being abused, which is like comical because those kids, they did not want for anything the world, the sun rose and set by the kids, and they were still are the very best just children in the world. My stepkids were and are amazing, and there was never any abuse. There was anything even remotely. They abused us, but it was certainly not the other way around. And like, they were both very smart kids, definitely smart asses. And like I can't imagine what they would have told the CPS people. Well, they came there and were very, at first they were like very like gruff, and like I remember like I was so like emotional about it because like I give these kids my everything, but they weren't my blood, and I was like so afraid that like my wife's going to think like, oh, this is a direct result, and which I still stand by and fully believe that it was a direct result of my actions of speaking out against Winchester. I still believe that. And at the end of that visit, the CPS people that were there was like, this is nothing. We know that it's nothing. They talked to the kids. They talked to them alone and together. And they were like, look, we got to come back one more time. Then we're going to close this out. It's nothing, whatever. And so they knew that nothing was going on there. But that night I told my wife at the time, I was like, look, I won't say another word. I will be done. And, because before when I'd been political, I never had to worry about that. And now what I was saying is like affecting, other people. And she was like, screw that. She was like, have those people come back every month if they want. And so she was like, keep it up. The kids aren't being abused. And so thank God she felt that way. And even after our divorce, people would come up to her because ironically, and it had nothing to, it was just life. Like a lot of other people, there was a lot of other, we went through a divorce, or we'd been through a couple major deaths. My brother come to live with us, and we just went through a lot of life changing things, and people change, things happened, but we happened to be going through a divorce right around the time that my mouthiness with politics picked up, and people would run into my ex like in the store after we separated, and they would be like, oh my God, you're so, thank God you got away from him. Like, he's such a pain in the ass. And she would say like, no, I stand behind him. She watches the show. She listens to the program now. We're friends. And she's like, I stand behind everything he does. And politically, he's right. And so people would be like, oh, and they always looked at her weird because of that. But it is rough. It is hard. And they are not better than calling CPS and, telling people to not use your business, or telling people to, do this or that. And having all of a sudden you start getting pulled over by police cars and you're starting to be followed. That shit happens in small communities.
Listen, I have people knocking on my door that I don't know, telling me that they're there to repair things. And I'm like, I didn't call a repair person.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's
repair this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I sent you a picture. Somebody asked about the health department in Madison County. I want to show you how much the health department does nothing, because the health officer that was trying to do something, Dr. Wright, they removed him because he was getting too loud. And so they replaced him. But this butts up to people's homes. This is an illegal salvage or junkyard or whatever you want to call it. This is oil all contaminated in the ground. The person who has taken this video, Sean Smith, has been harassed, has had police sent out over and over and over. His wife now has environmental breast cancer from this. When they
from this, listen, because you're
yes, when they moved in there, this was not there. They have a very nice home, and they have fought this. And finally, a few months ago, the county admitted it has to shut down, and this should have never taken place. It has cost them so much time and money. So when you ask where the health department is, let me tell you something. They don't come because you're not part of the swamp. And that's the reality of how ineffective it is in the health department in Madison County. Here's another. This is a close-up view. This is another picture of this. And I want you to know this has been such a horrible, horrible situation in Madison County that this family was personally attacked this week. Personally attacked. Here are some close-up pictures I'm sending you in Messenger to show the people. This should have never gotten this way. The health department should have gotten involved way sooner, and they still don't. They still don't have anything to do with it. So while he has been attacked by many officials, Brad Newman, who has since resigned, Wes Likens, Commissioner Richwine, Commissioner Likens, Ben Gale, all these people have attacked this family. Now, I'm telling you right now, if one of their loved ones got environmental cancer from something like this, I think there would be a whole new situation brewing here.
Katherine, real quick, someone asked, I think Tweety Bird asked, how can they prove that
right?
Her
so there's
environmental cancer came from this?
So I don't know if any of you have ever watched the Aaron Brockovich show. I don't know if any of you have watched Dark Waters.
Tweety Bird's definitely in there. Yeah, she's
right. Teflon,
this is Riley.
You can trace environmental things. You can trace them back. And so that's how Aaron Brockovich was able to trace her situation with all those people getting sick. And what has to happen, unfortunately, is so many people have to start getting sick in order for you to be able to connect the dots. Now, we are much wiser now. We have even better testing than we've ever had. You know, I guess something I could compare this to is like 23andMe. You know, and some of you, if you've heard about the physician who fathered all of those, those children, it was here in Indianapolis. It was Dr. Klein. I was an IVF coordinator at the time, so I knew all these players that they were talking about. So I for 5 years, I was an IVF coordinator, and so I'm sure in his mind. And I know even when we have donors, we're like, no, they can't trace it back to you. You know, this is all anonymous, blah, blah, blah. Well, nobody ever thought to imagine that 23andMe would ever come up. So I guess if you were a donor egg person or you were a sperm donor, I don't know that I would do 23andMe because those kids are going to be able to find you. It will trace them back to you. And that's kind of how we do cancers. You can trace it to certain areas. I mean, this is all aerial shots. I mean, that's the whole point with this is this gets into the ground. It doesn't stop, people.
Yeah.
You know,
I tell you what this is so weird. I remember the very first time that sorry, we got the ball of death. I remember the very first time. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just the picture that stopped. I remember the very first time that I saw the picture that shows the overhead, and as soon as my stuff stops being wonky, I'll show you. But that first overhead of like the junkyard, this picture here,
and this isn't
so
zoned for this.
Strange. Yeah, you said it's not zoned.
Not for this.
That's crazy. You know what this looks like to me, and it's so freaky because it looks exactly like it. It looks like this. Does anybody know what this is? Stand by. You got a picture up on your screen?
No.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. Now we're having a ball. Come on now.
And I know when we get on Madison County,
Work with me, baby.
Madison County, it is a wildfire. This place is just mad. And we've got problems in every crook and cranny of this county. We've made a lot of headways. In 4 years, I will say we have made a lot of headway. We're going to see even more change. We're going to see more change come because we've got some elected officials who are going. But people, you need to start thinking about 2026. If you're in Madison County, if you're in municipalities, start going to these meetings now. Start putting it on Facebook Live. Start informing the people. That's how you win elections.
Yeah, absolutely.
You cannot wait until 2026.
This picture here. Has anybody ever seen this? You know what this is? That's the junkyard that was the To Make a Murderer junkyard where they killed that girl and had her body in there.
Oh no, I didn't.
Up in
Is that a town?
Like Wisconsin or whatever. You know that Steve Avery case that was on Netflix, To Make a Murderer, a couple years ago. It was a big deal.
No, I will not watch murder shows.
That's
it
what
creeps
that.
Me out.
That's just what that picture in Madison County. Every time you guys have ever shown it, that's what it looks like to me. But anyways, no, what you're saying there, it makes me so happy that you recognize that so early into getting involved with all of this.
Now, I want you to know,
because takes out people a long time to realize that.
The thing is,
go ahead.
And yes, we've moved on to this. We've talked about the water in lapel. I mean, they've got everyone has got big problems. There's since the last time I was on this show, I probably could have 20 different subjects we could talk about.
Yeah.
But somebody got on social media and attacked this family and said, those are old things. You need to let things go. It's not that bad. Whoever was on here, I don't know who you are, that was asking about the health department. This is how disgusting it is in Madison County. I just sent you a letter, Chris, that was pushed out by IDEM. If you don't know what IDEM is, it is the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. And I don't know if
Katherine sent it to me.
Send it to Kate.
Yeah. And so this, I want everybody, because I'm not going to tell you, I'm just going to have you look at this. So somebody started calling me 4-letter words and everything else, asking me how I get this information. People, it's called Google. It's a public records. Go to IDEM, put your stuff in. If any of you are watching and you're worried about sexual predators, you put that in, you put your address in, it'll tell you how many sexual predators you have living around you. It's called Google. I don't know I'm nothing special. I mean, everybody knows I'm not some great electronic guru. So tell me the date on this letter.
Okay.
Oh, were they just given a violation inspection summary letter? They're still in violation. Where's the health department?
Hold on. Go back up real quick. Indiana Department of Environment Management. This is via email, November 21st, 2024. So this is less than 1 month ago. And it was sent to Kelly Drews Parts. Mr. Drews on November 19th, 2024. Representatives of IDEM conducted an inspection of Drews Parts located at 705 East School Street, Anderson, Indiana. This inspection was conducted pursuant to Indiana Code 131422 For your information, and accordance with Indiana Code 1314.5, a summary of the inspection is provided below. Type of inspection, routine and follow-up, results of the inspection. Violations were observed. See attached inspection report. Information gathered from November 19th, 2024 inspection will be forwarded to the Office of Land Quality, Land Enforcement Section. See attached inspection report. Within 30 days of receipt of this letter, a written detailed explanation documenting compliance with each required action listed in the inspection report must be submitted to this office. Please direct any responses to this letter and any questions to Abby Anderson. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Mary Ann E. DeLay, Chief Industrial Waste Compliance Section.
And so if you go to IDEM, you can see all of that. But here's the thing. Even when people are forced to shut down and they're told, and IDEM has done that, the health department is nowhere to be found to go out and enforce this. And we are giving and dumping millions into the health department in Madison County. We need an effective leader in that office. I cannot stress that anymore to people, because what's going on in that office is not serving the community. It's serving the swamp. Health issues are real, people. Water is real. And on top of that...
Wait, hold on now. Now we've got Misinformed says, if it was linked to her cancer, why was their case dismissed?
It wasn't dismissed. It's all still ongoing. Go look it up. They're still in the middle of all this. All they've done is ordered him to shut down from operating. But he's still doing it. The case is still ongoing.
Okay. Half of the 2023 report from Lapel is actually results from 2017, 2021. Yet they have to do samples to follow code. We don't even have a licensed operator.
That's what I mean. It's everywhere, people. And I'm telling you, you got to get involved. It's the only way through.
That's the bottom line. I mean, it's, and listen, everyone's speaking to the choir, singing to the choir, shooting at the choir, whatever you're doing to the choir with the choir. I get it. The meetings are early. The meetings are not fun. It's hard to get to. It's cold outside. We've got fun things. Yeah. What's funny is, the funny thing is, in the wintertime, people bitch and say, well, it's cold and, I don't want to do this. And in the summer, people say, well, this is when we're supposed to be out doing fun things and whatever. And see, that's the bottom line. Is now Bree says, I'm tired of being harassed.
And they give up.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. Absolutely. Yep. That's what they do. And people give up.
They believe that they can push and push and push and push and push. What you've got to do is, and it sucks, you just keep going. It's kind of like, I always equate it to that scene in Wolf of Wall Street where Leonardo DiCaprio is explaining about the people who first started doing Quaaludes, when they made Quaaludes for people to sleep. And then they realized that if you could just push through, then it was like a fun drug. And that's when the fun started. That's very much like politics. What happens is early on, they harass you and it seems scary and everything seems crazy. If you just push through it, that's when the fun starts. Because eventually, like, the harassment stops because they realize, like, they're just not going to get you to go away. And then that's when you're, like, on level playing field with them, because then they're scared. They're almost as scared of you as the people who were trying to make you scared when they were first harassing you, because they realize, like, okay, this person's going to stick around. There's nothing, So I get it. I understand.
I mean, I just sent Kate, and again, we're covering a lot of stuff tonight, all over the place, people. I get it. But I just sent her an article that I want to talk just briefly about to people, because First Amendment rights and going to these meetings You cannot sit there and just not be heard, people. I don't know what to tell you. You got to show up at these meetings and you got to be heard.
Yeah.
And this is a recent article, we've got people blocking people that are elected officials. We've got agencies blocking and shutting people down. But what they're doing is they're like removing people from commenting on the post, but you're blocked from it, so I can't see it, but they're letting everybody else still comment on it.
Yeah. That's a problem.
You can't do this stuff, people. This is wrong. And I don't know if people just don't know that this is wrong, but right here, and this, it was Nicole Kapazinski that shared this article. We have to be able to speak. And if you don't do something now for your children, they will be in a communist country at some point.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to share this with you, that there is information out there. Bree does a lot of research in her spare time. Hopefully she'll be able to take this water thing to a new level and give more information and start putting out informative posts for people, so that they can understand what's going on. And that's the thing.
What do you mean about that, Bree? I don't understand. You're saying, you said I shared a post. They said it was because I shared it. What happened?
So DCS came to the house because she shared a post. The post was about Bingham Square. And everybody, I don't know if you know about Bingham Square, it's a apartment complex that has had no electricity recently. The city shut it all off. They've been living out there. A building caught on fire. These buildings were sold to people in Florida who have mismanaged the property. It's been on the news. We've had people die out there. Finally, I think tomorrow the final person will be moved. But again, and it was Rebecca Crooms who uncovered a majority of this. She's put it on Facebook. She's had the news out there. The news has been out there several times to cover the story over the last several years. But while I've watched this whole thing for the last 3 or 4 years, I've never seen the health department. And Doc Wright was the health officer for the health department. He was pushing back. And when he began to push too much back with Ms. Crooms, they eliminated his position and gave it to somebody else. He had been in that role for 17 years. They didn't like it. And it just was catastrophic. And now look at it. It just stood standstill. You never see the health department out there. You never see them doing anything. That's the reality of the health department. They just want to go to fairs. They want to show up. If you pull their logs when they're at these health fairs, you'll only see 5 or 6 people that they do, because they don't get up out of their seat at all while they're at these fairs. They just sit in their chairs and they expect you to come to them. It's the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. I've never seen more wasted dollars in my life. Cheryl Dodd McKinney should be over that position, and she'd do more outreach programs than anybody. I mean, these are the kind of things that need to be happening in health departments, but it's not. And if you look around in Madison County, we look like a third world country. Our water everywhere throughout except Pendleton's about the only one that's got it together right now.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is falling short. And there are some mayors who've just been built, they have a shorthand because they've been around for so long, but I don't know. Something's got to change. We've got to invest in water. You're going to see a lot more sickness in this county. And if you were ever a coroner in this county, we could prevent a lot of this. But we choose to elect incompetent elected officials who appoint only people who will say yes. Do you know that at the commissioners meeting this week, they are going to do the shell game of money? And I've been wanting to get with you on that. They're going to take all this ARPA money and put it in all these special areas and line items, because they've got to get it out of there and show it's spent. but it's really not spent. It's just going to be kind of earmarked, and it's going to sit over here. If we ever get audited on this ARPA money, I'm telling you right now, they're going to take this money back. This scheme, and I'm going to call it a scheme that they've come up with. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. You have to watch the meeting. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, Cheryl's been out there shaking the bushes, but we've got to have change. We got to have somebody in these appointed and elected positions who want to truly serve the people.
Absolutely.
That is lost in Madison County. These people are serving themselves. I mean, I don't see anything getting better around Madison County. So, we're just going to have to sit back. We're just going to have to watch and see what's going on. This is a non-election year. So this is a great year to expose it all.
This is the year when people need to start exposing things and working on what's going to happen over the course of the next 2 years. This is the planning year. This is when people need to start working on things. And that's what Catherine's really been hitting on the last couple times she's been on. And I always try to tell people that you don't decide the month before the filing period ends that you're going to run for office and win. I mean, people do, but it's very far and few between. You need to plan that now and start acting as though you're running now, working and getting people to help and pulling in money and getting sign locations and doing things like that, checking that stuff, writing it down and making, note of that, and then planning and working. You have to count down how many months are there and break it all down. It is a process, and it's a lot of hard work. And that's why a lot of people don't like doing it, but it's, I'm
going to be real interested to see in 2026 what the Democrats are going to do in Madison County, because they only see that the Democrats hold in the county is that.
Yeah.
There is no Democrat that holds a seat in the county. So it will be, now I can't tell you how many of the Republicans that are in seat were Democrats, because we have several of those.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see. And right here, what Cheryl sat through that meeting. It's a scheme. I'm telling you, this scheme is going to fail. I feel it.
Yeah.
And maybe you may have to come back to the archives at some point and say, didn't Katherine say that this was going to fail? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bree, we had to, but here's the thing. She got a provisional ballot. She got
Get registered. Go there right now. www.indianavoters.com.
It won't flip her or something. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen.
What do you mean?
She'll have to explain to you more, but we had to get her a provisional ballot for the election this year in the general.
Real quick, while we were going through that, Bree, I read your comments, and I would like I'd like to talk to you about that thing that you were talking about DCS. Like maybe you can call me on the phone tomorrow. I'd like to talk to you about that.
She's got it on video.
That's what she said. I'd like to hear more about that, and I'd like to talk to you about that.
It's absurd.
And you know what? For all of the crazy shit that I say about Beckwith or whatever, you still got, these people work for us, and you still got to use them when you can. Somebody at a higher up level needs to be made aware of this. That is a crazy overreach.
And here's the thing, in Madison County, you have no one to call.
Yeah, right.
You can't call the prosecutor.
Yeah.
You have no one in Madison County to call. You're stuck unless you can find somebody from the state who's willing to help you. And here's the thing, the state's not even willing to help you.
Yeah.
You can't call Senator Gaskell. I mean, he scolded me in a public meeting. Now, Katherine, right. You just need to be quiet and sit over there in that corner. You don't need to raise any fuss. And then maybe if you're quiet enough, you'll get elected to a position. No, I don't care. I mean, here's what people need to understand. Katherine Callahan is not worried if she's ever an elected official.
Yeah, right.
What Katherine Callahan is worried about is that the people's needs are met. And that we are at least trying to do our best to meet those needs.
Yeah.
You know, I got to tell you something. I'm going to send something to you. I want to share this with the public who's on here for Madison County. Yesterday at my at my office. Let me see where this is at. I'm going to send it to you. I got I was very busy, and my staff came over to me when I had a break. And so let me see. Let me send this to Kate. So I sat down, my staff goes, "We just got a call from the Herald Bulletin." I said, "About what?" Like, I haven't even been bad, right? I'm like, what are they calling me for? So she goes, "Well, the best of Madison County, you've been nominated in 4 categories." And I said, "What?" They said, "Yeah, you've been nominated in 4 categories." I go, "Okay, this is ridiculous." Now, I'm never nominated for anything. So they tell me the 4 categories, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay." And they said, I guess the dental office too. And they wanted to know if I owned that. And I just own the buildings. I just rent to them. So they hung up and they called the dental office. Then they called back, and then I went on to see some patients, and the Herald Bulletin called back. So I was at my desk again, and the staff goes, "Katherine," or they go, "Hey, the Herald Bulletin called again." I said, "For what now?" And they said they forgot 1 category. I have been nominated for 5 different categories. Now, here's the news flash, everyone. You know they're never going to let me win, right?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
But this is the win right here.
Yeah.
This right here is the win for me.
Yeah.
5 categories. I wonder if anybody else has 5 categories they were nominated in ever. So to me, whoever or how many other people even did this, I thank you. But this right here is the win.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad people are listening. I'm glad that I can help people along the way. And I just want people to know it's about informing the public.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters to me. And when I'm out on the campaign
Yes.
trail, when I'm running for things, I pick up patients all the time. It's great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You
Sure.
know, I mean, it's great. I meet a lot of great people. And like you guys, I would have never met you guys had I not done the things I've done. You know, I would have never met Sean Smith had I not, met those people. So, this is the thing. I hope to see people start running. I hope we can figure out Bree's status. Maybe she'll run for something. She's young. Hopefully Cheryl will run for something. I just hope that everybody gets involved and we start to make change because somebody has to. I did post a video of Donald Trump talking about how our First Amendment rights need to stop being violated.
Yeah.
I think actually
Alex
Alva
there,
sent
yeah.
me, I think it was Alva who sent me that video.
Yeah.
I think. And it was a great video. And I shared it. And do you know how much backlash I got off of that video? And you know why? And I'm going to tell you, a very wise woman sent me a very great post. Because she was watching this weekend how people were they just were all over me. I mean, just left and right and this and that. And they just couldn't control themselves. And so let me see where she wrote this. And this was good advice. And it's worth repeating to people. Oh yeah. If I told you guys,
while you're doing that, Katherine, when you get done with that, can you also send, because you sent it to Kate, but can you send me a copy of that thing that you were the best of Madison County thing?
Oh, I got to send you the email.
Okay.
Because we need to do a whole segment on it because they want all this money for you to advertise in their paper. It's
they did. I was looking at it because of what Because of what Tweety Bird said. They spelled Herald Bulletin wrong.
Yes. So listen to this. And this is the truth, right? No, Alva, you shouldn't be sorry. It's what it is. And this is the God's honest truth right here. This person says to me, "You're certainly giving people something to think about."
Yeah.
It's funny how people are more concerned about your delivery than they are about the corruption and mismanagement.
Sure.
That is the truth right there. Listen, you can worry about Donald Trump delivering the message, and I'll give it to you. You can worry about Biden giving you the message. But if the message is right, get rid of your thoughts about who's delivering it. I know people are like, oh, well, if that person speaks and you follow them and they're really not a good person, you know what? If the message is clear and it's right, follow it. People, your First Amendments are being violated all day long. I was walked out by the sheriff for all I did was showing that they were doing misappropriation of funds. It was the reality.
Yeah.
The question I think really needs to become is are elected officials and their families and friends truly untouchable? That becomes the $1 million question. Are they truly untouchable? And I'm going to send this to Kate and see if she'll play this. And I don't want to even interpret it, but I wonder what people will think about this little video. And it kind of spins off of, and I know we've got Democrats on here. I'm not pouncing on anybody. And Alva's right. Will they look at the House Bill 1338? Well, here's what the problem with that House Bill 1338. It's Republicans were putting in place.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how crazy this is. So
the Democrats at the State House are more conservative minded than the Republicans that are in there currently. Some of them. Anyway.
This little clip, I just kind of like to know what everybody's thoughts are. This was shared to Kevin Fentner actually sent me this clip, and it's interesting. And it's a short clip. And at the top of it says, "I thought no one is above the law." And I'd be real interested to see once we play that, what everybody's thought process on that is. Kate might have gone to sleep on me.
No, she's there. She's looking. Did you send it to me too? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I sent it to you too. But it's 44 seconds. But it looks like some people are above the law. Somebody asked me, they're like, well, certainly. What was Biden charged on? Here's my answer to you people who keep asking me what Biden's son was charged on. Why did he need a pardon?
Yeah, right.
No one is
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law. No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Good time.
I don't know. I don't know what everybody thinks about that.
Listen,
Alva, what do you think about that?
It's a problem. I said it when we came on Sunday night when he first did it. It's nuts. The thing is, it speaks volumes when the Democratic Party was coming out and they were upset that he did it. Even the Democrats were mad that he did it. It does not play well, but it don't matter to Biden. Biden's gone. He's out. He's done. He doesn't care. He's going to do whatever he wants leaving, and just we've got to hope that it doesn't hurt us on his way out the door. That doesn't specifically hurt us. The bottom line is what happens is that hurts the Democratic Party.
Oh,
Things
sure.
like that hurt them. And I would say the same thing if it was Republicans doing it. When Republicans do it, it's the same thing. Those little missteps are those self-induced injuries that you don't need. And it sucks. I don't know.
Well, and here's some advice if I was Trump's legal counsel. Yes, being the bigger person would say, turn a blind eye, let it go, let it be. But after watching Biden in Africa, I would say that he is not competent enough to pardon his son.
Yeah.
And so anything that he's done in the last 6 months, unless he can pass a formal test given by an outside agency, anything he's put into motion or in place is null and void.
Yeah, that is something that is concerned. Now, I do want to clear this up. When you say that he's pardoned for anything that may come up in the future, you mean he's pardoned for anything that may come up in the future during the period in which he was pardoned for. If he goes out and he commits a murder right now, he's not pardoned for that murder. If he goes out and he buys crack cocaine today and is caught with crack cocaine, he is in possession of crack cocaine, and that is a crime. That is he's only pardoned for, because people kept saying that what was the word that you used last night, Kate? Not oh damn.
What did it start with?
What did it sound like, man?
Right.
When you were talking about him and you were saying that like you were saying like it was like future, it was an 11-year pardon. I think it was for the last 11 years. But you said that it was almost like he was pardoned for anything like that would come up into the future, but it's not like in the future per se. It's
something that's discovered in the future, but occurred in the past.
Yes.
He's pardoned from that?
What?
He's pardoned from that?
Pardoned.
Yeah, from any crime that occurred between
2014
the
and Monday
time. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. You know why? Listen, cheaters never win and winners never cheat. And I guarantee you, you might say, oh, they cheaters can win for a small time, but I'm telling you something right now. Karma is real and she doesn't forget.
Well, yeah, what's done in the light, it will come out.
It will come.
And here's the other thing, though.
He's not going to change his habits.
If the pardon stands,
sure.
I mean, Biden signed the pardon, so presidents have that power to pardon. Now, if Congress calls him in to testify about anything, he can't plead the fifth because he can't incriminate himself.
Right.
There's nothing to incriminate. He's pardoned.
Yeah, it doesn't stop him from being called. And it's not just a free pass and it doesn't mean he can't commit crimes forward and be forgotten for them. That's another thing, And look, a lot of his issues stemmed from addiction. I hope he is cured from that. I hope it's not a problem. I hope he stays clean. I don't wish that on anybody, whatever. That being said, the biggest issue here, in my opinion, like Kate said, was the tax deal. I didn't care about
didn't care
about the gun thing.
It may not be something that has to do with his addiction. It
sure,
may
yeah.
have something to do with taxes or financial issues. Because when you start getting your kids out of stuff like that at that age, they just keep. It doesn't end.
Right.
Think about it, people. It's the government.
Yeah, right.
Give me this bond. I just need a few more dollars.
Yeah,
we'll get us out of debt.
Yes.
Well, let's just print a little more money.
Yeah.
Well, look at us now. We're just like crazy in debt now, right? So that's the whole thing. Just give me this bond. If I can just get this bond, if I can just get this little bit of money off my credit card, and I can just, get through these next 6 months. The gates are going to open. Money's just going to come flying out of the sky, and it's all going to be better. I'm telling you right now, if you allow bonds to go through in your municipalities, people, and they're already in the red or close to being in the red, LaPel has nothing in their rainy day fund.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They're not going to be able to pay these bonds back.
They're
by then, these people may not even be in those elected seats. And then you know what? Good people got elected in there and they look bad. They look like they can't do it because they're fixing this mess over here that they inherited. So I'm just saying to people, we're in for a wild ride. I think we're going to see the things that I've been coming out of the woodworks in the last 2 weeks. Since the last time I was on the show, 8 days ago?
Yeah.
I can't even keep them all straight.
It's
going crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, the next time you decide to be off on a night, just call me because I got all kinds of material I can share with people. Tuesday night was a madhouse on social media and everything that's going on. But we're going to see
back
more.
up. Hold on. Pause. We got to talk about this. So what kills me about this is when I hear somebody say something about Trump, my first reaction isn't to say, but look at this. My first reaction is to think, should this person have done this or not? My first reaction is to say, oh, I don't care that he did that. Or, yeah, I wish he wouldn't have done that. That's my first reaction. What kills me about the Biden people is when anytime somebody says something about Biden, they don't ever have that part in their brain that makes them say, yeah, he shouldn't have done that, or I don't care that he did that. Their first thing is always say, but what about? It's the whataboutism that just kills me because it is a level of hypocrisy. Yes, Biden is a president, and presidents have the ability to pardon, and they all pardon lots of people. Biden has and will continue pardoning people that we will never know anything about, that no one knows. It doesn't make news. Trump did the same thing. Gerald Ford pardoned Nixon. All kinds of presidents. Everybody pardons people when they're in presidency. And when they are coming up and they're specifically when they're lame ducks, they get all of these it's almost like applications to pardon all of these criminals, people they know, people they don't know, all for all kinds of crazy things. And some of them they do and some of them they don't do, or whatever. The bottom line is to your response, yes, Trump pardoned lots of people too. Some of them were deserving, some of them weren't, some of them I agreed with, some of them I didn't. But I don't think he ever pardoned anybody specifically that he said he wouldn't. I don't think that Trump said, I will not pardon that person. And then, bang, he changed his mind and did.
Well, let me ask you this. I think
that there are people that he pardoned that you might not agree with and that people didn't agree with. But, I didn't hear the Republican Party come out and be like, oh, he should. My thing here is the Republicans can shut up about it. The Democrats came after Joe for his pardoning of Hunter. They know the optics of that just does not look. You heard what I said Sunday about it. My thing Sunday is I didn't care. He did what a lot of other dads do.
I'm the same way. It's just when people are attacking me saying, well, what did he get charged with? I don't know. Why don't you tell me what he got pardoned for?
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not me. I don't need to defend anything. Yeah. You need to tell me why he got pardoned because clearly they pardoned him for some reason.
Yeah, he was in a position to be pardoned.
Yeah, addiction didn't make him a crook, and sobriety isn't going to make him an honest man. It's not. It's a cultural thing. This guy slept with his brother's wife.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean, come on now. I mean, I think the brother had passed, rest his soul.
Yeah,
but
he had. Which to me makes it
weird. I think Biden pardoning his son is perfectly acceptable.
Sure.
He has the power to do it.
Sure.
He's a father.
Yep.
He pardoned his son.
Yep.
I don't blame him for that. I don't have an issue with that.
Well, this is
My
what
problem is that he gave him a blanket,
Yeah.
more than a decade long
Yeah.
pardon.
Yeah.
Most pardons that you
Yeah.
see
Are
are
for a specific instance.
I am pardoning you for this.
This issue.
right.
All Biden did.
Anything you might have done for more than a decade.
All
So it
Biden
just
did
shows-
was ensure that
And
he.
shit we don't know about.
Yeah.
His
could
son's
have-
still on the tip.
I
That's
saw
what it
somebody
shows.
say he could have 6 heads in a duffel bag in his basement. And as long as he killed all those people and decapitated them and ate them between 2014 and Monday, he's good.
Clear. Yeah.
It's that's my problem. If you want a pardon, fine. Pardon your son. I
Yeah.
understand.
Rock and roll.
I would do that for mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it for mine.
Yeah.
Well, you're a bitch. Bigger
Yeah,
bitch than I am. And I love you for it.
I would hope that I raised my children better than that we wouldn't even be in that position.
Yes.
Number one, right?
Number one, yes. of
Number
course.
one. Number two, if I'm going to pardon them, I'm going to make sure they pay back whatever it is that they've taken.
Yeah.
If they didn't pay their taxes, I'm going to
Yeah.
pardon you for that, but you're paying it back.
Well, and I will tell you,
There's
and
going to be some stipulations with that. This guy is never
But
going to
this
learn.
is just this
Yeah.
blanket for
Yeah.
a decade
But-
for
but-
whatever you did is fine.
Yeah. And
No,
while I
come on, get specific. What is the pardon for?
Right. And while I read everybody that says, well, it's the president, he's allowed to do it, you're right. But abusing your power to such extent, that's what becomes the problem. And then, so you know what? Your kid committed murder. Go get him pardoned by the president so he can go back and live with his family in general society. No. So
Yeah,
there has to be, everybody has to have some rules.
it was a federal gun charge and a tax evasion deal.
Yes.
So
but
how much
those were within
taxes
the last
did the people
4
lose?
years.
Yeah, those were in the last 4 years. The other issue that he was
And you
pardoned
can
for.
pardon specifically for the federal gun
Yeah.
case and the tax evasion.
Yeah.
And say
He was then
"You're pardoned,
pardoned
done."
blanket for anything he's done in a
But
decade.
not for whatever you
Yeah.
did is good. As long as
What
it's
was the rough
federal,
amount of the
you're
tax
fine.
evasion? How much
What?
money are we talking about?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let me tell
It
you,
was
in Madison
upwards of
County,
5 million, if I'm not mistaken.
how much?
5 million.
Upwards of 5 million.
Okay, well, he should pay that back and he can be pardoned.
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing. In Madison County, Commissioner Likens did the same thing for her son.
Mm-hmm.
The taxpayers are out close to $200,000. Okay. Let me tell everybody the story of this in Madison County.
Hold on, pause. 1 second. You have to know that that's wrong, Tweety Bird, because he didn't have a continuing gun case for 10 years. He was pardoned. You quit thinking about what he was pardoned for. He was pardoned for a decade. That's what he was pardoned for. Any crime he committed that we know about or that we don't know about in a decade, 2014 to Monday, anything in a 10-year period that we know about or we don't know about, he was pardoned for. So the gun charge or anything else, tax evasion, he was pardoned for a complete decade. I would love that. That would be amazing. All right, go ahead.
I mean, so, you know, when we're talking about Madison County, Wes Likens sued the county on redistricting because they wanted to keep control of this redistricting. Okay, the Likens
Yep.
did. The first thing Commissioner Likens did, the mother, the whole reason why she ran was to make that debt go away so Wes would not have to pay it back. Okay. So that was her first order of business, and she got it done. They got it. She overruled a federal judge, or no, she overruled a judge from Hamilton County who said, no, you're going to pay back the taxpayers in Madison County. Okay. So that was over. I was close between $150,000 and $200,000. Nobody knows the exact amount. So they come in And they even tell Commissioner Likens, don't vote on your son. She says, no, I've got my own private counsel. My counsel said, as long as he doesn't live in my house, I can vote on his stuff. It's not a conflict of interest. So she votes. Had she not voted, that would have stayed in deadlock. It would have stayed in a 1-1 and it would have been in a tie vote, right?
Yeah, it would have failed.
So she does it anyways. They're supposed to pay $5,000 back. Word on the street, and this comes from a very, very reliable source. What happened at that point, the Likens and Sipes never paid that money back. That is the word on the street. What happened was they took $2,500 from the Democrat Party and $2,500 from the Republican Party. And they gave those funds to Sipes and Likens. They then wrote the check out of their account looking like they were the ones who paid it. They never paid a dime. The Democrats and the Republicans wanted to keep control so they could keep certain people in their power, because in Madison County, it's a one-party elected officials here. It is not a two-party county. It's one party. They are all together. I don't care. You go look at all the finances. You will see the Likens donating to huge Democrat hitters who are in seats. You will see the elections are bought and paid for. Now, I know that's everywhere, but specifically in Madison County. You know, my greatest glory, Chris, to my loss in the primary of this year was when somebody walked in and was over at the headquarters where they were doing like Gardner and Culp and all those guys. And one of the Likens says out loud, that bitch cost us $60,000. Well, we all know who that woman is. It's me. To me, that's a win.
Yeah.
It's a huge win, people. But what you also need to know, those loans that they are saying they're loaning themselves in Gardner's seat, in Culp's seat, Culp just finished a $500,000 bankruptcy in March. If I was a bankruptcy court, I'd be going looking at his election thing saying, oh no, we got to open this back up. You're loaning yourself that kind of money. You need to be paying back some of these debt collectors.
Right.
That's the reality of it, people. So, you know, I'm just putting it out there that I can't wait to see what's in store in 2025. I honestly was going to walk away. You know that. You know, I was pretty much at my limit. The last meeting I did, but then the Herald Bulletin felt that they wanted to keep talking about me. People keep sending me stuff. So I don't know that I could totally walk away. So, you know, I know that we have talked about a lot of things and it's been here, there, and everywhere. But there is a lot to cover in Madison County. And I want to streamline this a little bit better for all of you. You know, Alva makes some very solid points about what's going on here. Sean makes some very solid points what's going on here. And I'm going to tell you, in Madison County, if there is one family who has given it all, it's Sean Smith's family.
Yeah.
It truly is. They have given it all because now he has put his life, his wife's life is in jeopardy because of this disaster that these elected officials have failed to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason why I stay in this fight, is because that is who is suffering, is the people. So I hope you share some of those pictures. If you do not watch Madison County Government Accountability page in Madison County, I encourage you to get on that page and share those posts. People ask me all the time, how can we help? Just share the post. Like the page, like the post. It gets it movement.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never offended when people are on there saying stuff, whether I agree or I disagree. It helps move the post. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
So, you know, here, Alva, she's got her second win.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I can do another 4 years, but I'll try for you.
Yeah.
So, but those are the great things. I'm glad you let me have this platform. I'm glad everybody allowed me to be a little ADD tonight and go all over the place, and all the people who contributed, Bree and Cheryl. And Cindy and the people who always show up, who rally around here. But I'm hoping we make a difference for 2026.
Yeah. I'll be doing what I do. God willing, I'll be here doing this.
Yeah.
Same thing we do every night.
Right.
Try to take over the world.
And I try to be careful because I know you're up there covering Delaware County and you guys got so much stuff coming together. But or almost can even merge a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Your GOP
Sure.
over there's a disaster. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in March.
Yeah.
With all these new, precinct committee men in place.
March is going to be interesting in both, specifically in Delaware County and Madison County. It's going to be an interesting, it's going to be in March. That's the next big thing that's coming, people. Yes. That's the next big thing that's coming is the vote in March when they will vote for the party chairs in the Republican Party in March. They'll do that both in Madison County and Delaware County, and it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who the new state party chairman will be. Randy Head stepped down at the beginning of this week in the Republican Party. They got Braun in. He did his thing. He's stepping down. He says he's stepping down to take more of an active role at his law firm. I'll be interested to see if it's that or if he will have a role in the office with in Braun's office. I think that'll be interesting. The person who they put in his stead there is a woman named Erin Lucas, and she's the interim party chair. She's just she's the vice chair currently, so she's going to be the chair until they put someone else in. Hey, stay up there talking for a second. Stay right there. I got about just for 1 second. Stay right here. I'll be right back.
And I just want people to know that we are still waiting to hear the case on the GOP Russ Willis's finances that I filed back in August, I believe. It's been well over 90 days. We're still waiting to get word on when we're going to have that meeting. I am sure that they will give us a 48-hour notice to make us scramble in order to get that, to have that meeting. So this will be interesting to see, will they do this before the end of the year to hear if Russ Willis truly has finance or violated finance reports. I mean, for 5 years, he hasn't itemized a report. I don't know how any of that could be legal. I do not understand why they haven't found any resolution to his canvassing. That's all under the Indiana State Police ruling. We haven't heard anything about the violations of his canvassings. So this has just been a complete eye-opener of proof. So we've all speculated how corrupt this is. We've all wondered how corrupt this is, but now we actually are watching it firsthand. We're actually watching the same crap that goes on Washington, D.C. The abuse of power that's going on over there is literally taking place here in Madison County. It was exposed that Russ Willis's daughter was filing homestead taxes on a home she doesn't even live in. And nothing was done about that. It was found that he's in violation of canvassing, and the Indiana State Police haven't been able to do anything with that. We've over 90 some days ago, we have election campaign issues that he has not itemized, and that's a violation, and nothing was done about that. But what was done? What was done? More violations. You know what more violations were done? They allowed that GOP to be in those election rooms on election night. Not only did they allow that, on film it shows that he would go in room with Lannon, or whatever you want to say his name. They'd go in there together. Then Landon would come out and Russ would be in there with those ballots by himself.
Gross. It's gross.
He's under investigation. And you people are allowing him to stay in there? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's and the thing is then Linda's all offended. How could you talk to me like this? I'm like the most trustworthy, honest person you'll ever meet. Really? Because you sat there and you've lied through the entire election.
Yeah.
You will twist and turn the law to benefit you, and you'll turn a blind eye to the people who are actually breaking the rules. Right here, they appointed a special prosecutor against Russ for canvassing. Angela Weber, a deputy prosecutor in Johnson County. I've contacted her office and they refuse to provide an update, call, and email. Now, let me ask you something, Kristopher, for people who are watching tonight. Who gets to choose a special prosecutor?
Well, so I know where you're going. It can happen two ways, but what you're going to say is, and there is truth to it, that the prosecutor that is declining to review the case and asking for a special prosecutor, he can tap. Basically, they can kick it up, and it can be picked by the state courts, like the clerk of the courts. Basically, the judicial court can pick it. But in your case, what you're going to say is that Rodney Cummings picked the special prosecutor, and they do have that ability. They can do that.
Now, Sean says in Russ's case, it was the court. They said Judge Dudley picked her. Okay.
There's a couple different ways that can happen. It's basic, and any of it's legal. I don't know. I don't know. I used to know some of the judges in Madison County. Those judges are long gone. So I don't know any of these judges. I don't know Dudley. I don't know if he's good or bad.
Here's the thing. They're all in cahoots with each other.
Sure.
It's like anything, people. If I have a patient who really needs to be seen by somebody, I can generally call an old colleague or an old classmate or something like that. And I say, hey, listen, I need to get this person in by tomorrow. They're really sick. I need a favor. Can you do that for me? Absolutely. What they should do in a situation like this, when it's a GOP, they should allow the people to decide. It's kind of like a jury. Like they bring in, 12 people, and then we look at the judges, and then we figure out which one to choose from. Because I'm telling you right now, what I have seen going on in Madison County, I'm not sure. I mean, when you see child molesters released without any bond, I don't know what's going on over here.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Monday the 9th is the police, the Merit Commission, what we call the Merit Commission over here, the police safety board meeting at 4 p.m. about that officer on Monday the 9th. So just this coming Monday.
Well, we need to probably make
I'd like to definitely come over there and be part. I'd like to watch that. If I can get over there, I will.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, that's the whole thing. So I hope that, again, people are listening. People are showing up. I hope people go to that board hearing. I hope it's a packed room. I hope that some people show up who, are victims of, not in his situation, but in the past, and speak that they found their voice and their strength. If their case is over, that they can come and speak for these people. So, somebody said to me the other day, they called me and they said, Josh really isn't that bad. It's not as bad as you guys are portraying it to be.
Who?
Some people, Josh, the Cincinnati guy, this cop, they're like, he really is a good guy. He really is good to those kids.
What?
Yeah. I mean, they're calling and justifying this to me.
Who said this? Someone's just calling you and telling you this? That is, I mean, you don't got to say who. I'm just saying, is that what you're saying?
Yes. And I'm listening to this. I'm listening to this and I'm thinking to myself, those text messages are pretty damning. Okay, maybe he didn't act on them. I don't know. But why did he send them in the first place?
No. That guy, listen, you know what? Yeah, maybe he's not a molester. Maybe he didn't actually molest the kids. But if he was getting the balls up to be able to text that to those kids, listen, that is a crime in and of itself. So let's go ahead and separate him out and never have him have a chance to do that, because he's working up the courage. Let's definitely take away his badge and gun. Let's definitely make sure he's never in a position of authority again. Let's remove him from the kids. What
I've been told is he retired a few weeks ago. He knew this was coming. He already went ahead and retired. That's what I've been told. I don't know. Maybe they'll talk about that in Monday's meeting, that he has resigned. I don't know, or retired. And look at that.
I don't believe that, because everyone no. He didn't retire a couple weeks ago.
Somebody said he did.
Anderson City Police Department just last week issued a statement saying that he was still on paid leave. You're not on paid leave if you retired.
Who wrote that article?
What?
Who wrote the article?
I'm not talking about the article. I have the press release from Anderson.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out, because if he's not on retirement, or if he is on retirement and it says that.
Yeah, there would definitely be something there then for Anderson to speak on, because
I don't know how you find out when somebody retires.
Listen, okay, well, I'll just call. Well, I'll see if we can call tomorrow and find that out. Okay, let me see what this is. This is from the City of Anderson, immediate release. In July 2024, the Anderson Police Department administrative staff learned of allegations of misconduct involving Officer Joshua Cinceny. The Indianapolis State Police took over the investigation, and Officer Cinceny was placed on administrative leave on July 29th, 2024. He was placed on administrative leave on August 29th, 2024. On November 25th, formal charges were filed by a special prosecutor, and the police chief received notification of the charges of the corresponding probable cause affidavit. Officer Cinceny's status and discipline case will be presented to the safety board for review and official action. Action may include continuation of leave with or without pay, pending outcome of the criminal case, and may include discipline up to and including termination of employment. Under Indiana law, officers are entitled to a hearing before the safety board if requested. And that was released on Tuesday, November 26th, 2024. So as far as he is concerned, as of Thursday, November 26th, he was still on paid leave.
So we'll have to see. Carrie McFadden is asking if you can post the info on that meeting and the place and time. And I'm wondering if you can make like just a screen of it with his picture or something. And then maybe Carrie and people can go back.
I'll send it to you guys. Well,
maybe they could go back to the political spotlight and share that all over
I'm
Facebook.
Fine with that too. Yeah.
If you can just make
I will do that.
And people go to that meeting. That'd be interesting. Now, if Cheryl's still watching, Cheryl had gone to a meeting the other night, and she specifically went for a reason. And then when she got here, they're like, "Oh, we're going to table that." I surely hope they don't do that if people are showing enough of this on social media to show.
Let me tell you, they will specifically do that. That happens all the time.
But all we can do is try. Hopefully people will share that, and Carrie's usually pretty good about sharing stuff. So we'll just see if we can get it out there and people can show up. Maybe Cheryl can go and put it on Facebook Live.
On Monday?
Yeah, on Monday.
I'm going to do everything I can to go to that. I would really like to go to see that, just because I have an understanding, of that kind of stuff. So I would definitely like to see that. Let me see.
Karen O says, what happens to a tabled subject? They just pick another date.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I've asked this before, and I think that you've told me.
Carrie, I don't know where
Karen,
they meet.
where are you from?
Cheryl, do you know where they're meeting
Yes,
at that safety board
yes,
meeting?
She'll say it before I get to it.
Is it at the city building? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you live in Florida. Yes. Okay, so listen. The Board of Public Safety, I will make a thing on this, and I'll send it to you on Facebook, Carrie, but I'll also post it, and I'll send it to Catherine, and you guys, I'll make a Canva thing so you guys can share it around, and I'll put it on the thing. But the Board of Public Safety meets at 4 p.m. second and fourth Monday of each month. City Council chambers in the city building. The members are Mike McKinley, President, Sam Dixon, David Clennanan, Barbara Joy. Yeah, okay, that's it. So Mike McKinley, Sam Dixon, David Clendenin, Clendenen. Clendenin. That's a weird ass name. Barbara Joy, and that's it. So I will post that, and oh yeah. So like down around Frostproof and all that area. Not like I'm trying to dox you, but in Polk County, in Great Polk County, Florida. Yeah, we've talked about that before. Now I know because I do.
Cheryl says it's going to be at the city council meeting room.
That's what I just said. City council chambers.
Don't come to the county building.
Not county building. Not the county building. It'll be in the Anderson. It'll be in the Anderson City Council chambers.
Yeah, that's a city issue. It's not a county issue.
Yeah. They're for once. They're like, thank God.
Right.
Thank God. Yeah. I'll send this.
Carrie's going so good. Yeah, I mean, the more people that can show up, I just don't understand why he doesn't have a bond. Not that this council will be able to tell anybody that, but that. So now, will he be there? This guy?
No, I would say probably not. He'll have an attorney there, maybe a representative from the FOP. I would say he probably won't be. Yeah, she's the secretary of the board. So she's a voting member on the board, but she keeps the minutes.
So there's 4 of them?
Yeah.
Well, that's strange because what if they tie? Don't you always want a board to be an odd number?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, see, we haven't even talked about the redistricting in the city. That was a whole nother thing that happened Tuesday, I think Monday or Tuesday night. It's just been crazy.
Yeah, what's that about? Like, give me a 5-minute.
They're trying to redistrict the city, and they're trying to
haven't they already done
the
that?
mapping of it. But then when you look at the map, it kind of cuts out, one of the districts that has the most minorities.
They just cut out all the black people. We're going to redistrict it to where we cut out all the black people in Anderson.
Kind of, yeah. And here's the thing. I don't even know that this is a good idea that this council votes on it, because you lost. They used to have 3 minorities on that board. Now they only have 1 minority. That shows there's already a big problem with that. And so now you've got, instead of voting on that when you have, it's almost like, hey, did we kick this can down long enough that we can get enough people on here so we don't have the minorities, so the council will have to pass through this redistricting. But now, I mean, they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this thing. It's been going on for a couple of years. You got to listen to Rebecca Crooms, because she got up there and made a statement about it and everything. But there has to be something that's said about representation of the people. And the council that's sitting up there now is not a good representation of the people. You only have one minority voice.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. We need to talk about Graham, who was arrested for pulling the gun on a guy at a gas station. He still works for the city. Who's Graham? See, I don't know all this. You need to have Cheryl on about city stuff.
I would love to if she's ever willing to. I mean, look, it doesn't always have to be Katherine. I mean, we can do Katherine Day, and we can have other people on. Someone more that deals with Anderson City stuff. I never have a problem branching out and having more folks on. That's never a problem.
Maybe Cheryl wants to talk about the city because I don't know a lot. I don't know enough about the city to even speak on them. I've got no problem with that section of my life. I just somebody else. I got enough on my plate. I don't even really want to get involved with the lapel thing, even though I'm a business owner there. But how do you turn a blind eye to those filters?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you just can't.
Yeah, right. It's not. Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, right. That filter is crazy.
So when we pull it this weekend, when it's been in there for a week, I'm going to be eager to see what it looks like. If it's that bad after a week, now we got bigger issues.
When are you going to do that? When are you guys going to pull that?
I
want to talk to you the night that you pull it.
Okay.
Whenever you guys pull that, I want to talk to you. I want you to pull it and take big pictures.
I think it was Saturday that we pulled it.
So then you're going to do it again this coming Saturday?
I think so. Yeah. I got to double check.
What is that in 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we definitely need to talk because that's
maybe we can record it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll double check tomorrow. I'll go back and look through. But I thought it was Saturday that we had done that.
That's some crazy.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much that's been going on since I've last talked to you. And I know that, we're trying to get stuff rolled out for the community, but then something will come up and we can't get to it that day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because that's,
Cheryl is never coming on the show ever.
Why?
Because of her comment. She is never coming on the show.
I can't see it. What you say?
I'll come on when I get the records request from the city. We will have a lot to talk about then.
Why? Why did she say she's never coming on then? Oh, because she's never going to get it?
Yeah, she ain't going to get those records. I can't get them from the county, Cheryl. You're not going to get them from the city.
I don't know about that. Not a lot of places aren't really as ballsy as Madison County is. And I think if she does what I told her to do, I think she'll be able to get them. I think she has a good shot of getting those records from the city. If it's the same thing that I talked to her about, I think she probably has a chance. Okay. So that it's a good possibility. So
well, we'll mark our calendars and hope that
and hold our breaths.
In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and keep breathing, Cheryl.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So no, she does a good job too, and we'll just have to see what's out there. She says, "Is there an executive meeting?" What did she just say?
That's what she said.
City Council has an executive session scheduled for December 10th at 6 to choose a consultant. Okay, here's the thing about executive meetings: we're not allowed in.
Yep.
So I just want to let you know that.
That doesn't mean we shouldn't be aware and shouldn't know and shouldn't, we should definitely, people should keep aware of them and know when shit's going on with them, because, there's a lot of important stuff that goes on surrounding that we still have to keep them straight about. So it's definitely good to know when and where and how and what, and as much information about them as possible, because a lot of funky stuff goes down surrounding all that. So,
well, let me know. I'm always happy to take on a night that you want to be off.
All
Monday
right.
will be an interesting. Maybe Monday night I'll come on after you go to that meeting.
What? Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll figure that out.
And maybe we can have Jamie Lynn on and she can weigh in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you kindly. And
hey, thank you.
Yeah, stay put, and I'll be right back with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, real quick, I thought maybe we ran Tweety Bird off. I hope we didn't, but I just wanted to show for everyone that was still following the Joe Biden shit. This was my favorite line. This is, to me, what's most laughable about that Joe Biden shit, where he says, "For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle: just tell American people the truth." That's the biggest laughable nonsense I've ever heard in my life. Okay, well, folks, thank you very much. It is Thursday, which means this is the end of the week, and I very much considered whether we should do a show on Friday or Saturday to make up for being off Tuesday, and I just said, no, we're not going to do that. We're off. It's not a big deal if we miss a show here and there, and every now and then. It's not a big deal, so we were off Tuesday. I had a headache. I apologize. We're going to be off. So the rule stands. We are off unless something crazy happens. Now, if something crazy happens tomorrow or Saturday, we might be on. Chances of something happening Saturday isn't so much, but basically tomorrow. So just stay tuned. Your best way to keep up to date is to obviously do this thing right here. If you want to know if we're going live, the best way is to subscribe and click the bell so you get notified when we go live, when we drop static video shorts and everything else in between. Thank you all very much. Please share the show with everyone you know. That really helps us out. Thank you for being here. So we are going to end the show, and we will be back Sunday at 9. Remember, Sunday we're going to go over edit stuff for all of you people out there in TV land. We're going to do that for Charlize and everyone else that needs to know about it. So we'll be talking about that. And obviously this Anderson thing and other stuff. So that'll be Monday. Sunday, when we come back, Sunday the 8th is edit. So be looking for that. We will see you guys back here at 9 p.m. on Sunday. You guys have a great rest of your week, which ends tomorrow. Have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully we won't see you this weekend, because that'll mean it'll be a peaceful tomorrow. But if we do see you, then you'll know shit'll have hit the fan. So thank you very much. Take care. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend till we see you. And good night. Goodbye.